Again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday's Talking Town. I am your host, the Gov, and this is ITFC Dominate Wednesday, winning 1-0. More live fan match reaction. Looking forward to the next 45, 60 minutes as we go through yesterday's twists and turns. I said in one of my YouTube shorts that it's probably the most one-sided 1-0 win you'll ever see. How did you feel after it yesterday? Was it ever really in doubt, or was it more of a fan nervousness as chances kept being created and wasted? It was just, they might hurt us at some point, but they never did. We've got loads of comments filing in. As always, we can't do the show without you guys and girls at home, so get active in the live chat. There was a link coming in about 15, 20 minutes. If you should so wish to come on the platform and have your say, remember, only you can say your opinion in your own way, so make use of it. Come on the platform and have your say. Let's kick things off with our 3-word reviews. We post this after every game on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We also did some emojis yesterday, which I thought were absolutely brilliant. Some really funny ones. We've got Andy on Twitter, win away again. Emerson says it should have been more. Mike on Twitter, control grit deserved. And Hannah on Twitter, finally beaten Owls, which of course is our first win since 2018. Stephen, probably could and should have been a bigger score, but 3 points are 3 points. That's all that matters. Jacob says, my sources tell me Leif Davis out for the season with a broken leg. I don't know how accurate that is. We don't like to speculate on this platform, obviously, because it is a sending off offence. Daniel Bradish, afternoon. Welcome in. Hope you're well. As always, hit that like button. If you're brand new here, hit the subscribe button. We'll go for 200 likes targets today, so hit the like button. And of course, we can't be here without our wonderful fifth standards. If you see people in the chat with green names, they are part of an elite club called the Fifth Standards. They're the reason why we're here, because they support the platform. $4.99 a month, and you can do so via hitting the join button on YouTube or heading to Kofi. Cancel at any point. Support the fan platform that's for fans by fans. Thank you very much. Right, let's kick things off with this man,
the media mogul.
We've just lost to teenagers. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Matt Phillips.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Phillips. How are we?
Good, thanks. Yeah, cock a hoop after yesterday.
Cock a hoop.
Cock a hoop. You don't hear that very often now these days, do you? Cock a hoop.
No, you're showing your age there, Phillips, but there we go. You've been look, everyone's excited because obviously it's another win. We're sitting third in the table, 6 games in. Things are looking great. I've got a 3-word from Moby. Well, I've got 2 actually. But I want to put to you: good defensive concentration, wasteful in attack. Has Moby sort of hit the nail on the head there in regards to yesterday?
Yeah, he probably has. Listen, me and Rich were chatting on the phone last night, and I just couldn't believe how terrible Sheffield Wednesday were. I don't know why, because Rob came on the show, if you didn't see it, Wednesday's show, and said they were absolutely terrible. And of course, we had the bonus of Bannon not playing. I mean, they couldn't string a pass together, could they? They couldn't go from defence to midfield to attack. Unbelievable. We talk about a momentum shift for them. What did you say, Martin? They've kind of burst their own balloon a little bit.
They have.
The managerial change. I thought Spanish managers, Cisco, would be like, tiki-taka style, fast-paced. Just dreadful. They should try. They should be on bended knee and try and get Darren Moore back, I would say, because they are going down, Sheffield Wednesday. But, we did have lots of opportunity.
Too many, because every time you missed one, I kept thinking it's going to kick us in the teeth in a minute. It's one of those games where you feel like the more... it's one of those games where you feel like the more chances you missed, the more a sucker punch was coming. And then they got that corner in the last few minutes. I thought, oh, flipping heck. I've seen this one before.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah.
They scored right at the end, didn't they? Although that was a debatable offside goal, but I feel sorry for Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, they've got a great stadium. They had over 25,000 now.
I don't.
Like I said, well, you're saying this because you have family members.
Yeah, but I don't feel sorry for them, because every time we played them, there's either an issue or there's trouble. Like, I mean, MB in the chat said just in a video of 20 Wednesday fans punching up an Ipswich fan. I'm not sure if you've seen that on social media, but that's been doing the rounds.
Well, don't tell all the Sheffield Wednesday fans with a minority. We've discovered on social media we've got
that's true. That's true.
Mostly on social media, quite frankly. But just there's parallels with us in terms of old school, great heritage, a club that goes way back and is kind of well respected in English football. I'd say we tick those boxes.
They're a big club. You can't deny that. Yeah, they're a massive club. Yeah, massive club.
It did make me think maybe they achieved too much in those playoffs. Perhaps they should have stayed down. Do you know what I mean? I kind of consolidated there a little bit more because they look well. In the 90 minutes I saw yesterday, I thought they looked well out of their depth. They look nailed on for finishing bottom, don't they?
They sadly do, yeah. Sharon, I've got nothing against Sheffield Wednesday apart from the family connection. I like to beat them, and I agree with you. They're a massive club, and overall with a great fan base. It's a real cauldron, is Hillsborough, when it gets rocking. When it like the playoff semi-final against Peterborough, that was worth 2 goals in my opinion. That atmosphere, because they were absolutely outstanding that night.
It's a great football city, Sheffield. You've got United in the Premier League. You've got Sheffield Wednesday have had more ups and downs, I would say. Well, maybe more downs than ups really in recent years, but historically they were always the bigger. Certainly when I was growing up, they were bigger than Sheffield United. So I mean,
they still are. It's
a great city with 2 really good clubs. So, but yeah, what as you said, more gone. All the momentum gone on the fact that they blew up themselves, and very odd time to be a Sheffield Wednesday fan.
Xisco coming out after the game. I don't know if you've seen our friend Rob's interview, obviously from BBC Sheffield. It's a very. I felt sorry for the manager after the back of that interview. I thought this is a guy that's got no answers to issues that really are bigger than what 11 men and himself can really achieve. It's a club in crisis, isn't it?
Massively. Which you wouldn't have thought, would you, when you've got promotion off the back of, like you said, overturned Peterborough, score last minute goal at Wembley. So you've had the day out. So you've had 2 great moments, haven't you? You've had the moment in front of your home fans at Hillsborough in turning over the 4-0 deficit. Then you go down to Wembley, pack the place out and score with the last kick of the game. How can he be in crisis after those 2 huge moments? But somehow they are. And I think he probably started with them parting ways with more. That did not surprise me, frankly, if that had happened in the season. But the fact he then got them through the playoffs and a Wembley win, and then he goes after that, it was all very odd. But they could, at the end of the day, they couldn't string a pass together.
No. They missed. Weird. Yeah, and they missed Bannon. Right, let's introduce our 3rd member of the team. You all love him, you all hate him. He's like Marmite. You either do or you don't. But here we go.
The Cruncher. Richard Moss.
You're talking utter fucking.
It's probably what Xisco was talking in his press conference after the game when he was trying to make
bollocks.
excuse after excuse after
Anyway,
excuse.
Quickly, I've got a shout out before we start for the Neat Send Social Club and Canteen. Ben and Tom, run by 2 Ipswich fans, went there yesterday before the game. Brilliant venue. Thank you for the food and the drink.
How did they hear about you to give you free scran?
Everyone knows about me. Come on.
Where's my cup? Where's my cup?
I'll give them a shout out on Twitter and said they'd shout me some free scran and a beer. So I really appreciate it.
You've got a Yorkshire. Scran. That's a Yorkshire.
Good venue. About half-hour walk to the ground.
Oh, too far.
Did they go to the game as well, the 2 lads? Did they go?
So Ben wasn't in. I think he was in a box. Tom was behind the bar, and we left about 10 to 2. And I said to him, "What time are you going?" And he said, "I don't know," because it was quite busy. He said, "I'll probably be sprinting there." So if he's sprinting there, he will be knackered because it's. And talking about the sprinting and running, Gov. Shout out to Alex Griffin.
Yes,
Ipswich half marathon, 2 hours 13. That today.
Very good.
Yeah,
good for him.
Absolutely.
Gets around old Alex, doesn't he?
We've got a £5 super chat from Sharon, who's all smiles today. Thank you very much, Sharon. And obviously, you mentioned the restaurant there, the canteen, whatever you want to call it. But if you do want to sponsor the platform, in the last month, we've had over 43,000 views. So get your business seen, heard, and brought to life. Email me, martin@talkingtown.co.uk. Sponsor this very show, this very platform. Rich, I've got 2-3 words for you that I want you to sort of kick us off with. One's from Jordan on Facebook, perfect game management, and Daryl Hughes on Facebook, disciplined, professional, 3 points. What do you make of those? What do you make of yesterday? Go for it.
No fog now.
Oh, yes. I tell you what, that tweet gets a lot of interactions. I bet they love it because that's what you want.
When I was on with James, I've done the preview, and he said, because obviously he runs the Wednesday Till I Die pod and he does the Twitter account, and he said, look, if you're going to give it out, you've got to be able to take it. So he's getting pelters, and so he should do, because it was a great tweet at the time, but it's aged really terribly, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, historical tweets.
That's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. How did you see yesterday before we get into it?
I thought it was really... If it can be a comprehensive 1-0 win, Martin, that was it, wasn't it, yesterday? And I agree with you, Matt. I could not believe how bad they were. I'm not really bothered, but they were dreadful. They're probably one of the worst teams that we will play this season. I mean, they're at home. What did they have? 5 shots all game, apparently, with the stats. I don't know where they come from. There's no shots on goal. It was
on target, was there? No.
It was comprehensive. It should have been probably, if we'd have come away winning 3-0 that game, no one would have any arguments because their keeper was the best player, wasn't he? Other than that, they had no game plan, guys. I don't know what they were trying to do. They've obviously took off their 2 strikers at half time. Or Ashley Fletcher on. I know everyone moans about Barry Bannon and Sky big him up, but look, he's a good footballer. Let's not beat around the bush. He's a good footballer. And yesterday, without him, nothing. And they play Middlesbrough Tuesday. I think whoever loses that, either Carrick or Cisco might be.
And who saw that? Who saw that in sort of June, July time? You know, Carrick struggling as they were, but
had Middlesbrough top 6.
And they still might,
actually. Yeah, they've been short of their 3 best players, Matt, from last season. When you look at all the goals, they've just disappeared. A little bit akin to when Town under Joe Royal, when Benty, Kuki, Tommy Miller, Kelvin Davis, they all disappeared. So
60 goals gone right there, wasn't it? Yeah.
Can I ask a favour, Rich? In the politest terms, lose the dog.
Dennis, you can't go anywhere without me. Come on, Poppy.
I
could have actually, yeah. Frank says I could have been in goal for us. Definitely. Could have got the deck chair out. I mean, Halagki, it was.
I think I could have been in goal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm quite speedy around Tesco's, but I think I probably could have been in goal, to be fair. You know, you see me swimming.
Rich was trying to work out on the phone how many yellows Halagki had. Was it 3 we counted, Rich?
He's got 3, and Morsy's now on 4.
So, and 5 is the first suspension.
Yeah.
He's on 4, not 5. Okay, that's good. So he'll play Tuesday. But in terms of what Wednesday were trying to do, they weren't trying to do a lot of anything. I mean, the plan for them wasn't to shoot, as the manager was saying. But what were we trying to do? Because I thought it was a really intelligent performance from Town. And I guess the first question, Rich, is no Hurst on the bench. I would have expected Caden Jackson to start, particularly how he played against Dominic Iorfa last year. But he went with Big Freddie. How did you see Freddie's performance?
He would says, if I'm being honest, I think this is what we do on this show, and we don't hold back. Look, I thought Hurst showed more in about 10 minutes when he'd come on, movement, getting involved, and Ladapo done in 60 minutes. He's missed a sitter.
True.
He's anywhere else, Martin, he scores and he sticks it straight to the goalkeeper. And if you watch that, I've seen the move back. That would have been, Matt, a fantastic goal because we've
great move.
It out from Halagki. You've beaten the press. You've got the space. Chaplin plays a great ball to Wes down the right. He's laid it on a plate, mine. I mean, 14 yards out, centre of the goal. There you go, Freddie. Get yourself off the mark and get a goal for the day. And I mean, he's hit it straight to the goalkeeper, but
it's normally
he's doing okay. Okay is not good enough in my opinion. You know, we need better than okay. And I even will say this: George Hurst, love him. Done fantastically. It might be the one position on the pitch where we need to invest in January. If we had George Hurst might score 20 goals. Freddie might score 20 goals. But I think we're missing that top striker in this division. And I know at the minute, look, it's early days and we won 5 out of 6 games and it's brilliant. But I think if you look into the future, that's probably one position where we can upgrade.
Well, I said in the window review, Matt. I gave it a C because I said George Hurst has doubts at this level. You know, can he prove it? Can he do it? I think he can. Yeah. I'm with Rich. I absolutely love him. But you know, there's a reason why. And he came on yesterday, and I really thought it was a really shrewd substitution from McKenna because at the time, Wednesday was starting to maybe get a little bit of steam, and the 2 centre halves were having the freedom of the ball, and we needed Hurst's hustle up there. And it almost proved straight away because he won the ball back and probably should have scored himself the same way Freddie should have scored in the first half.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, we were saying, Rich, weren't we, that the chance Ladapo had was kind of meat and drink to him when he was at Rotherham. If you watch the highlight reel when he signed, they put all his goals together, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's where he's made his reputation, isn't it? Counter-attack, ball in the box, anywhere around the penalty spot. And he was generally scoring. So, yeah, I was up. I thought that was going to be in. It was disappointing that he missed that. And of course, Hurst comes on, you know, and you're right, Rich. He did create more than what Freddie did in that cameo that he had, and had a couple of chances. He was lacking sharpness. I felt like he didn't look like the guy who scored the goal at Oakwell last season, for example. He's tried that little lob, hasn't he? He's just gone over the bar, and then he's hit it straight. He was quite good, that keeper, wasn't he? The AC Milan keeper.
Very good.
Good shot stopper.
Very good.
Yeah,
It has to be. It has to be to
Yeah.
play for Wednesday, Matt.
Bloody team. Yeah, so they have a busy 90 minutes. I do agree, though. I did kind of sit there thinking, are these two really going to score the goals that we need to cement a top six? But listen, the goals are coming from around the park. But I am surprised we didn't add another top draw kind of striker, because at the end of the day, Ladapo was a free. He probably would have cost about $1 million, would he not, if it had been under contract from Rotherham? But he come
Really
on a free, and we've paid 1.5 million-ish for Hurst, plus whatever add-ons come with that. That's not really big money, is it? So
don't forget Dane Scarlett.
Yeah. Still haven't seen him yet.
He's got to ain't got a look in yet, has he?
No.
He's not had a look in yet. But he's a very different type of striker, isn't he, to those two? They're more your traditional centre forwards, albeit with kind of slightly different attributes, I suppose, to that position. But when will they even get a look in? World's best young striker, according to Kieran.
But then I sat here Rich, last week and I said, we've got to put some respect on Big Fred's name, because he's got goals. He's got 3 goals already in this campaign. He's a very different player to Hurst. And I think we can't expect a Hurst-like performance out of Big Fred. He's a different striker. He's got his own attributes that stand out, his own downside. I mean, Hurst has his downside as well. There's things I don't like about his game, particularly sometimes. That's footballers. They have those up, they pros, they have those cons. But he gets goals. So we've got to put some respect on the name, Rich.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 20 goals last season, 3 this season. And he'll score goals. I think he's in this league. I think he'll probably do his best work off the bench. I see when Hurst is fully fit, and that's one little worry I've got about him. Like I said on, I think it was Wednesday, he's had like 3 little minor injuries already, and he's not been here this long.
It's a great point.
Actually, interesting point yesterday, Matt. George Hurst's girlfriend sat behind me. She was there.
Yes,
I said to her, is his old man here? Is that David? Obviously, big Sheffield Wednesday player. He was at the game yesterday, and he obviously got a bit of a hot reception when he came on.
Yeah, I thought he might do.
The chance, the first one he had, I can see what he's doing there, but the ball didn't really come down. He's waiting for it to come down, and the goalkeeper's come out and he's tried to lob him. The second one, I've watched it back. I know why he's gone for goal there, but I think he could have passed it there, Martin. I think there's Chaplin in a better position there. But look, he's obviously back at Wednesday. He wants a goal, doesn't he? He wants a goal when he's playing there. But I think if we're looking ahead to Southampton, I think Hurst will probably start there, I would have thought. And it's not just like the strikers, Matt. And like you said, who's going to score the goals anyway? If we look at last season, Chaplin got 20 plus. Ladapo got 20, Broadhead, who I thought was pretty quiet yesterday, Martin. I didn't think he really got in the game. He had a really good chance there in the first half when he sort of burst through, and then he sort of dallied a little bit, could have passed it. I think he could have hit that earlier, Matt. When he's picked up the ball, their goalkeeper was miles off his line. Yeah. That was great.
All orange shirts bursted forward. He held onto the ball for too long. He should have said it left or right. Probably left.
I think he had Luongo to his left. He could have just slipped him in, but
he did. You're right. Yeah, it was him. Yeah.
I think we're nitpicking anyway because it was a really good performance anyway.
Yeah, but we can from a winning position, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, this is what they should have done if we'd been playing up front.
Absolutely, yeah. But talking of Conor Chaplin, Matt, a 3-word review. Lots of people just simply saying Conor Chaplin, baby, got the goal yesterday. How did you see the attacking midfield players?
What was noticeable about Conor was how involved in the game he was, and I do recall saying at at half time in the Cardiff game, can't get Chaplin into this. Hence, we were like, lose, 2 down or whatever it was. But yesterday it was noticeable. He was getting the space. I think it helped that Sheffield Wednesday aren't the most mobile of teams. Hence the reason why we had that kind of strong counter-attacking ethic yesterday. We were very pacey getting forward. The Ladapo chance being the main illustration of that, I think. But yeah, I just felt Chaplin. I think because Wednesday aren't at the races, I felt Chaplin probably felt he could take a few more risks and run off defenders and come deeper into space to get the ball. I just think that was probably the opposition provided those opportunities for him. But when you do give him space, he has such huge impact, doesn't he? And like you said, that was a lovely little through ball he gave to Burns for Ladapo, and then of course he was there in the box, and his shot would have gone in, wouldn't it? Had that geezer not been on the line, and it's deflected and gone in anyway. So it was a great 90 minutes or whatever it was for Conor. I thought it was brilliant.
Star Knight says, nice chatting to paint the posts for them.
Yes, that made me chuckle.
It's very much our talisman, I feel, Conor Chaplin, Rich. And when he plays well, when he's on it, we tend to be on it ourselves.
But I mean, look at the space they give him for the goal. I mean, blimey. Well, look at the space they give Leif Davis
It's a great ball for Matt as well, wasn't it?
Over the top. Ball. He's got down the line, cut it back. But I mean, that's where Chaplin does his best work. We've said it on here before, around 18, 12 yards, Martin, ball in, touch, bang. 9 times out of 10 ends in the net. And it did yesterday. Like I said, it was going to go in anyway. But he's got 3 goals. And I think Chaplin, Matt and Martin, I think he's a little bit like the team. Much more to come. I think a lot of these games, we haven't been at our best. And we're still now trying... And we're still finding ways to win games, which I think is absolutely fantastic because we haven't played our best football, but we've got 5 wins from 6 games. And you listen to Kieran after the game. It was one of them games, Martin, where he hadn't beaten Sheffield Wednesday 3 times. So it's one of them ones where he's like ticked it off. It's another one. I've got his stats here. This was his 50th win, Matt, for Town yesterday in 87 games. Only Sir Ralph Ramsey, who took 93 games, has won his first 50 games before he's reached 100. And his league record for Town is unbelievable. 75 games played, 44 wins, 22 draws, 9 losses, and 39 clean sheets. Wins to nil, Martin, I think is a really good one. So out of the 44 games that he's won in the league, we've had 35 of them are to nil, which I think is really good.
Wow.
And win percentage in the league of 59%. Carl Fuller. Shout out Carl Fuller, because that was off his Twitter.
It's all good stats, but it is League One based stats.
Yeah, I mean, look, we are talking about third tier there, and he's too good a manager for third tier, really. But look, you can only play against who you're in the division in. That's where we found ourselves, right? So,
it's very true. Couple of comments in the chat regarding Leif Davis, Brandon Williams, and Burgess. We'll come to both in a second. Rich, Keith Dano, man mountain Burgess. He came so close yesterday to getting our man of the match on the live fan reaction show. Was he your man of the match? Yeah,
I've been a big critic of Burgess because I didn't think he was good enough, and he's making me eat my words every time I see him. And I think yesterday, a lot of the times, his defending's good. I think sometimes when he's in possession of the ball and he's got time, that's when he's a bit sort of lax and he gives the ball. I think one time I counted, I think it was in the second half, he played the ball in midfield that got cut out. I thought he was like a brick wall yesterday. Shout out to Wolfie beside him, because I think if you look at Wolfie, I've got wrote down here, Wolfie was calm and assured, and then you've got Burgess next to him was rock solid. And I thought they both defended. Look, what little that they had to. It was like they were attacking with a pea shooter, Matt, yesterday. They were pretty toothless, weren't they? I mean, very much so. I mean, Michael Smith, they took him off at half time. I don't know why, because I think he's but with him and I think Lee Gregory, you've got to get balls in the box because look at the size of them. And then you bring on Ashley Fletcher, powder puff. Had a few corners, didn't they, Martin, second half, and the crowd got a little. You made a really good point there about when he brought Hurst on. They were just starting to get up a little bit ahead of the steam there, I think, for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you're thinking, Freddie's up there, the ball's not sticking. So he made that change. And it was, I know you always sit in there and you're thinking, oh, you need that second goal. Because we all know it will bite us somewhere along the line this season. We'll probably be winning comfortably away from home. You either get a worldie or a deflection or a bad refereeing decision. I want to come to him in a minute because he's really inconsistent, the referee yesterday.
You think?
I mean, let's touch on him now, right? So in the first half, their goalkeeper. And this leads on. I don't know if you've seen, it's a really good interview, Matt and Martin, with Paul Heckingbottom after the Spurs game yesterday. Mm-hmm. He's come out and been really critical. This is a Premier League referees. They don't know the games. Basically saying when they were playing out from the back, and I think Spurs changed their press, so the goalkeeper's taking a little bit longer. And he's saying like the ref's comment was basically kick it long. Well, the teams don't want to kick it long. So, but yesterday, right, in the first half, their goalkeeper was taking a long time over goal kicks. The game's at 0-0. This is why the referee does nothing. He's telling him to get on with it 2 or 3 times. He does nothing. Second half, as soon as we're winning 1-0, like he's done it, and this is his third time, maybe he needs to be a bit more wise. It's the one where he's going to take the goal kick and then he puts it down and he lets Wolfie take it and the refs give him a yellow, which is, look, fair enough. But
No,
at least be consistent, because the only reason you've not booked their goalkeeper in the first place is because it was 0-0 at the time. And we're winning 1-0, and he's taken exactly the same amount of time as their goalie. And now he's telling us that he's a time wasting. Utter nonsense.
And some of the decisions he gave yesterday were, like, for me, very strange. Free kicks when there was little contact, no contact.
What Matt Stannard says there about time wasting, because they'll do it when they're losing these teams, and it's only when the team's winning that they seem to get a yellow card. Absolutely bang on, Matt, is there?
Yeah, absolutely. And Rich, you were talking about Kieran McKenna there. We've got a comment, Matt, here from Paul P. McKenna has improved, Burgess no end. That's not a stat you can ever see written down, like we've just heard, but he has improved Burgess without a shadow of a doubt. Yesterday he was solid.
Yeah, inside the last year, absolutely. I was very critical of Burgess. Didn't think he was good enough to wear an Ipswich shirt and felt he was costing us games and, be putting in blocks that were, deflecting into the net. You remember the Plymouth one? But that he seems to have eradicated that from his game in the last third of last season and going into this. I think the confidence of going away to play for Australia in the States last week, there's probably, he's got that little bit of presence around him. Long may he continue. He's wearing a Town shirt. I want to see him doing well. I thought Wolfenden was very good yesterday. I thought Harry Clark I would probably lean towards Harry Clark as my player of the match. They had a lot of touches.
Okay.
Had the chance, the header. I've been critical of him. I
got better, Matt. He gave the ball away sloppily a couple of times in the first half. But I just thought he had a lot of touches in the game. It was nearly 100 touches, I think. Maybe the most in the team.
Wow.
I just know he just had a presence about him yesterday, and obviously he appeared for that corner, didn't he? That was cleared. And I've been critical of him as well because I thought he was brainless against Fleetwood and showed him maturity in that game, in a nothing game. And now you're missing the start of the championship season.
Yeah.
And then he struggled with the injury, and then he's come back, and he's played really well yesterday, and full credit to him.
Yeah, I thought he looked a bit more explosive yesterday.
Yeah,
on his first
exactly.
step.
We touched on that last week, didn't we? Maybe the 2-week break Martin's done him good, because I don't think he's probably fully training, but he looked to have that explosive, like the spring and the pace, and
he looked like probably the player they had seen playing for Stoke in the championship.
Definitely.
And, he just had a bit more of a presence about him yesterday, and that clearly shows he was niggling with that injury.
Yeah, A says Burgess fits perfectly his McKenna's style of play. Burgess is our general at the back. He orders everyone at the back and calls the shots. And a great last-ditch header where he just flicks it away where it could have been real danger in that second half. Exactly what you need from your man Mountain. Now, obviously, every win sometimes comes with a loss. And yesterday we took a big casualty. We don't know the full extent. Obviously, one of the people in the chat earlier saying it could have been a broken leg. We don't know. I don't know that at all.
That's to see him after the game. He's definitely not broke his leg.
We can rule that out then. But he was in a boot. It's about Leif Davis. Daryl says, Baron Harvey on Twitter says, pray for Leif. Obviously, we don't want him out for any length of time. It's a huge loss. It's a mountain of assists. But Brandon Williams come in, Rich, and I know you were very impressed with him. I found funny that he says his favourite position was left back, but he seems to be all right-footed.
Leif, as soon as it happened, the way he's got hold of Burgess' hand, I'm thinking, Jesus, this is not looking good. I've got a gripe here. Where was the golf buggy? Where was the stretcher? What?
Yeah.
The St John's guy sat there by the bench and nothing happened. Fuck me. He's gone beyond the goal. You've got to go down behind the goal, down the top. Yeah. Come on, help him out. I mean, but I think he's obviously gone over his ankle. And I think Kieran said that, I think, was it, what was the lad who played right back for him, Matt, the grey hair used to play for Cardiff? Patterson.
Yeah, Callum Patterson.
He's come down and he's landed on him as well. He's landed on him as well. I mean, what a shit haircut he's got, by the way. Terrible. I mean, Jesus Christ. He's only about early 30, isn't he?
Looks older than me.
It's like he's been around forever.
Yeah, that must be.
So, look, he's in a boot. He'll get a scan, and then they'll go from there. But yeah, it's good. It's obviously going to be probably a bit of ligament damage. I'll be surprised. Look, I don't know. This is just.
He won't play Tuesday.
No, I'd be surprised if he plays before the international break. You might not see him until after that. It depends what it is. But look, we've got a good replacement here who's played 50+ Premier League games for Man United.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting, like you say, that he's right-footed, but he's played his majority of football at left-back. He did... I do like this a little bit, but the red mist does descend a little bit with Brandon, Matt. I think right near the end of the game. I've watched that back, though. That's Callum Patterson. He leaves his foot in.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Very, very sly, and the referee and the liner don't see it, but Brandon's not having any of it because he's thinking... And he's a bit of a shithouse. And I like that because for way too long, we've been way too nice as a football team, a football club.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a bit of steel. And I think he used his Premier League experience of the games he's played two or three times there, Matt, running towards a corner flag. He gets a free kick, just a little touch, and he's gone down. Out of the game. And look, he's a different player than Leif. But what about that run in the second half where he's flipped it round, mate? He ran off the pitch. Round him, and he was away. And then he just got a little bit carried away with the final ball. But I thought he was excellent, Martin. I really did. And this is the problem with some of our fans. They're writing him off after a couple of games. He's no good. He scored an own goal. Like you said, Matt, the other week. Don't forget Leif Davis when he came in. He gave away a penalty on his debut against Bolton, and look how he's turned out. So I think he'll be a really good asset going forward in both fullback positions, because I think he can play. Because Kieran said, I think they've done a lot. Most of the work they've done in training, Martin, was on the right hand side, and he's come in and he's played on the left. So I think he's a shoe-in, isn't he, for Tuesday. But I think now, because if Leif's going to be out for a little while, we need to get Donatian fit, because you're a little bit light in them fullback areas otherwise, aren't you? You might have to use the
and Axel. Don't forget Axel. Can get him fit. He's played right back for Aston Villa. You
won't be seeing him for a while. You have to get the Swiss Army knife out, Don Ball. Get him in.
Disco Dom.
What was noticeable about Brandon Williams yesterday was when Hurst had that chance, it was just lobbed over the bar. Williams had actually made a real breakneck speed run and was actually at the far post. So I don't think we're going to lose any of the kind of attacking attributes that Leif brings. We might lose maybe the assist availability. He's very, Leif's been fantastic at that, and the set from corners and things. But in terms of getting forward, I think Williams will offer just as much. But yeah, so it'll be a blow. There's a question mark over when he's going to be back as well. That's right, the big thing.
Right, I've got a tweet. Just landed in my inbox. I ref this morning. Huntingdon EJ under 14s versus Colney Heath, Matt.
Lost control.
And there's a lad over there. He's Town fan. I see him. He's seen it. He said, "Oh, hello, Cruncher." His lad plays at Colney Heath. Henry was pleased with this. Is one for mine as well. Pleased with the clean sheet and even under 14 levels, and his pre-assist for one of the goals. It was good to meet the Cruncher. It looked like a good game to ref.
First pre-assist mention of the season. Fuck's sake.
We've not got Sonny Aluko, have we? Now.
No, sadly not for many. Not for me. Talking about assists, obviously Leif brings that to the party. I'll ask you both the same question. Rich, you can take it first. How did Town get over not having the assist machine, Leif Davis? Who's really got to step up and take that mantle?
Well, look, I think, like I said, Brandon Williams, he's a good player. He brings different things to the party. He might not be so good going forward, but we just got to cope without him. In football, you're going to get injuries, part and parcel. And if we want to be a good football team and progress, you've got to have people come in. So when these people can't play, it's not Sam Morsey. Sam Morsey getting another booking. He's going to miss a game sooner or later. Someone's going to have to step into his shoes. And it's up to whoever comes in to grab the shirt and just to play well. And Brandon Williams, we shouldn't really be worried, should we, Matt, really? When you've got a player who's played 60-odd games for Man United in the Premier League. I mean, Leif's a big miss, though. He is a big miss because he's a fantastic player. We just hopefully, look, he has that scan. It's nothing too serious. He might have a few weeks out, and if he does...
look, Brandon's a great player. That's fine. We got that. But how did the team recover, really, or take the step forward without their assist machine? Because Leif is, again, yesterday, got the assist for the goal. He did, yeah. A lot of it can be from corners, of course. But then that's another thing, Matt. How did the club now factor in the corner? Because I always said to my brother yesterday, I thought your delivery without Banham was actually pretty good. But I'm used to first man being hit every single time with Lee Evans and co. So, there's a few question marks now suddenly without Leif.
Well, the worry with Davis is because he's now part of the furniture, right? And then he's missing. And people don't really like the change, do they? But we're going to have, like Rich says, we're going to have to adapt. But we have got a very good replacement in Brandon Williams. And he has come here. We were talking, weren't we, Wednesday night? He has come here to play matches. He's not, you know, he could have gone anywhere. You know, you don't just want to be sitting on our bench. So he's going to get an opportunity now. So, you know, we're talking about goals from across the pitch. We're going to have to be looking at, you know, the creation across the pitch as well. And, you know, look, Burns was unlucky yesterday. He could well have had an assist to his name yesterday. And Conor Chaplin a pre-assist if Ladepo had sunk that ball like he should have done.
Do you think, Matt, just quickly about Brandon Williams, do you think, I know going forward you might lose a little bit. Do you think defensively, though, you might gain a little bit and he's a better defender than Leif?
No.
It'd be interesting to see. Let's see how he copes against Southampton, a team, you know, a wounded animal, albeit one that's come from the Premier League. Let's see how he copes in that. But I thought he did very well yesterday. But I think it's the onus is to, you know, for McKenna and his coaches to find the solutions to the set pieces. Who will take the corners? Who will come in? Is there more onus on getting the ball down the right-hand side and getting it into the strikers rather than the reliance of Davis and Broadhead? But, you know, a game is 90 minutes. You expect to create chances either side of...
We did yesterday, didn't we? First half, Matt, it was all down the right-hand side. Wednesday,
Exactly. I don't think it'll be too much of a blow, quite frankly. I think Williams is a really good player. You know, 50-odd times for Manchester United. I mean, we're lucky, like Twanzebe is captain Man United, and he's sitting in the wings, albeit not fit yet. So we don't be worried about people coming in. It's just the fact that you're losing someone who's such a mainstay for our fan base.
Yeah,
and Davis is that.
But it also takes a hit on the player trading model if he's out for a long period of time and he doesn't perform.
You're selling him off already, are you?
Well, no, look. I'd be surprised if the club haven't sat here and worked out a projection of a year, 2 years in advance, and one of their major sellable assets is going to be Leif Davis. So that would be a big blow to the player trading.
But now you've got a little window to see what we're like without him potentially if he moves on in the next season. You know, and you might look Brandon Williams. I know they've got I think there's no option to buy, but I think he's in the last year of his contract at United, so you don't know what happens going forward. So it's just a case of wait and see. And
of course, as a wise man said on this channel once, a left back don't get you promoted, Martin.
It was Stephen Ward, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, no, Miles Kenlock. But to be fair,
where is he playing football?
Barrow.
I don't know.
But,
no, he's gone down to the non-leagues. He went from.
Is
Barrow
he with Paul Cook at Chesterfield?
No,
Bailey Clements. He played for Aldershot I think he was on loan there last season. I don't know if he's.
I see
yesterday, walking back to the car, walks under the main stand.
Aluko.
No, my old mate Giles Coke.
Oh yeah, he was on Chef Wed's comms.
I said, right, Coke. Here I chatted to him. I said, do you remember sitting on my table at the dinner? And he's like,
of course he doesn't.
No, he did. And then we got chatting to he showed me the goal he scored for Wednesday.
What a lie. What a lie.
He knows what's going. He showed me the goal he scored for Wednesday. I think it was against Oxford. It was an absolute worldie. I said, fucking hell, you didn't do none of that for us, did you?
He certainly did. We've got some Longo chat coming in, and Taylor actually. Norman says Taylor play against Southampton. We need more energy and legs. We won't have that much. Steve Wright on Facebook. Where is Jack Taylor? This is a fair question, but as I said yesterday, Matt, I'm winning. I want Jack Taylor, but while Massimo's playing the way he is, as a fan, I'm winning all hands down. If
you watched Southampton versus Leicester Friday night, well, you just got to counter attack them. I think they've let in 2 goals. The Southampton losing 5-0 at Sunderland, conceded in the first minute, and ditto against Leicester. You just have to have a fast start against these. You go one up. They seem they're so exposed at the back. Them. I mean, I would probably keep Morsey and Longo. You know, ain't broken. Doesn't need fixing. To my view.
Pace in behind.
Taylor Tuesday.
No. Oh. You don't need to change it. If it's not broken, don't try and fix it. He'll get an opportunity soon because Morsey's got another yellow card and he's missing the game.
Yes, so absolutely.
It's not about fixing it. It's about improving it. Taking it to a supercar instead of just a normal car, you know?
I'd love to know what the thinking is, Rich, around, you know, the media could ask the question. You've brought Taylor in for 1.5, yet you're continuing with Luongo and Morsey. What is the dynamic there that Taylor doesn't bring?
Well, it's Luongo. He's playing well, Matt.
Yeah, he's lost 1 game in a Town shirt since he's come back.
I don't count League One.
It's a great stat. He's done great. Look, we wrote him off and all. He hasn't played any minutes.
we had a period where we were saying, you know, where is
Missimo.
Massimo? Yeah,
Missimo, you called him.
Missimo Luongo.
Yeah.
He's not been missing since. I'll tell you what, we're going to bring some people in very. Actually, I'll do it now. Let's have the voice of reason, Stephen Parry. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Hello, Stephen.
How are we all doing?
I'm doing very well. What's your thoughts?
Another delightful win, especially against Wednesday. First off, I just want to make a point about Brandon Williams. I don't think it's going to be a big drop. I think he's going to be a different type of left back. He might not run down the line and cross balls in. He'll probably be the pre-assist guy who'll cut inside, get to the 18-yard line, pass to somebody else who passes in. So I don't think he's going to give us the numbers in assists, but I think creatively we'll still stay around the same place. And I do think he will add to us defensively, because I think in that position in the 89th minute, Davis doesn't do what Brandon Williams does. Davis tries to get out of that and go up the field. You know, Brandon Williams uses his Premier League experience, feels the touch, goes down, game over. You know, sometimes Davis can be a little bit attacking for his own good and think, well, even though I'm in a tight spot, I can get out of this. So I think in that respect, I think we will gain a bit more. And another on Burgess. I think Tuanzebe coming in has given Burgess a kick up the arse as well, because he knows his position's not virtually guaranteed anymore. He was just seeing like George Edmondson and Baggett behind him. Now he's seeing like a player who's had Premier League experience behind him, you know. And we all saw, we started off defensively solid this season, but then we got the Leeds game, the Cardiff game, and there were some fragilities. And I think over the 2 weeks, they must have worked on them fragilities, because they were there and they were clear to be seen, you know.
It did help though, Steve, that you played a team who were absolutely toothless.
Oh, they were shocking. I've never seen a Wednesday team that bad, you know. But you've also got to take into account they did have some threats, you know. Yeah. Every time, you know, Wednesday are good at pumping the ball in the box and getting their head on it. And Michael Smith never got a look in, and every time he did, there was someone challenging him, and that's so key when you've got a player who can head the ball. Every single time he did it straight over the bar, you know. So I think we've got a position where Burgess or Wolfen are being challenged by a player they know is a threat.
Good point.
And so it's going to up their game, because they know if they don't play well, they're replaceable. And that's beneficial for us. And I think with the strikers, I've seen a lot of people talk. Sometimes it's just not your day. You know, everyone goes on about Leeds' strikers. Well, it didn't work 2 weeks ago for them, did it? They didn't score, you know. And sometimes a goalie sometimes a goalie just has a good day. He has one of them days. You know, that Clark header, not many goalies save it. You know, he just had a good day. And I'm thinking, are they not good enough? Who is? You know, who is good enough? Everyone says that they're not good enough, but no one says who is good enough. Well, we're not buying Mbappe. You know, so give him a name. You know, Ellis Sims hasn't scored yet. Yeah, not to us. But everybody was going on about Ellis Sims, and I was going on about Ellis Sims. But he doesn't even he can't even play. I don't even think he gets on the pitch.
It's not been his day, Steve.
Well, it's not been his season so far, because he's not even scored. At least Hurst has scored. But I don't
8 mil. 8 mil as well, Steve.
8 million.
No, it wasn't 8 million. It wasn't 8 million.
He'll come good.
I think it was 3.5 with add-ons to take it to 8 mil. I doubt he'll ever hit the 8 mil, especially given the way he started with his goal.
Good point. It's a good point.
But what I'm saying is like, I don't think our goal scorer is a striker. I think he's the guy who makes space by occupying defenders, and you know, it helps. You know, of course it does. You know, Freddie getting 20, George got 7 last year. But I think they create space for the 3 behind to like do some damage. So I think it's a collective rather than just an individual. And when we start saying, well, this person's not good enough, but if you're linking with this person and this person, then as a collective they are good enough. As an individual, they might not be, but they're not playing as an individual.
Interesting point, Steve, that Phil Blundell said a while back in the chat, that Broadhead's game picked up when Hurst comes on.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Because I thought he was quite quiet, but he's like, I think George Hurst brings the best out of certain players.
Yeah, because his movement is much better, and Broadhead's able to find it. Freddie's movement is non-existent. You know, he's Johnny on the spot, and if he's not on the spot, you won't find him. You know, yeah. But Hurst will look for the right place to put the ball. But it's not just that. It's like, you know, it's all a collective unit. And I think Hurst we were better when Hurst came on, you know. And I do think Freddie's better as a sub. But, you know, obviously he's just come back from an injury. He wasn't going to be risked. I understand that. You know, you can make the argument, well, you can play Jackson then, but it was only, a few months ago we were saying I never want to see him as a number 9 again. You know, it's the same as Luongo. I still think he's going to rest Luongo, not because of anything Luongo's done, but because everybody keeps saying Luongo's got biscuit legs, but they expect him to play 3 games a week? Come on,
watch him play Lee Evans?
No, I've been watching Twitter. And before he signed, everybody was saying he's got biscuit legs. And now
to be fair, they were right, weren't they? He's just really...
Were they, obviously? Because he hasn't. Because he's not missed the time since, has he?
But if you look over his career, he has had those injuries. He's just been very lucky and well managed. It's a credit to the club.
I agree, but it goes back to what you were saying about Leif Davis and people saying, well, they're not going to look at him now, maybe because he might have an injury. Well, he didn't. It wasn't his fault he had an injury. Someone stood on him.
No, it'll be the stats. It'll be the stats he doesn't put up that obviously then capture the attention of
but
a club higher.
We all know there's context behind the stat. Yeah, it might say ankle injury. Yeah,
Careful
but people in the game know he was stood up. That doesn't mean, that he's injury prone. That just means he's bloody.
I didn't say he was injury prone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying.
My point is there was the narrative about Luongo being injury prone and having biscuit legs, but yet now there's a narrative because he's playing well. He needs to be playing 3 games a week. Yeah, I worry about that. If he is suspect to injury, which I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather dip him out now and again to give him a break than play him 3 games a week, even when he's playing well. Because otherwise, if he gets an injury, we could miss him for a month or 2, and that would damage us more rather than just dipping him out. So that's the reason why I think Taylor might nip in once or twice. I don't know whether Southampton's the right game for him. I thought yesterday would have been a better game for him to dip in. I was wrong. I'm quite happy to admit that. But I think Southampton, they need the steel in there and Morsey Luongo against Southampton because they're a very tricky team and you don't want to go too gung-ho against them, even though I think counter-attack and being solid, that'll be the way against Southampton. I don't think being progressive. Against a team like Blackburn, maybe, a team like Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, you could probably get away with it. But against a team like Saints, I'd rather keep the solidity of Luongo and Morsey if we can.
Perfect. Steve, as always, it's a pleasure talking.
You look after yourselves.
And you. Thanks for clicking it. We've got Frank very soon. Norman with a great... Yeah, so do I. It's retro, isn't it? Norman, Gov, an idea for a show. Who had been the best player for Ipswich at pre-assists? I know it's your passion.
Nice to see.
I see your face when he put that in the chat.
Norman.
Mike hates all of this, doesn't he? Pre-assists, XGs. Nice to see Ben Moore in the chat. Shout out, Ben.
Yeah, shout out, Ben. Absolutely. And Phil says, yes, Cruncher, it did. Obviously, Broadhead did pick up when. But that's the space that Hurst creates because he's such a bullish striker, Rich. He's one of those...
He's more mobile than Freddie.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Different players. I mean, Freddie does well with what he's got, but he's not a Hurst at that pressing game, is he? Where he has to really close down space in the player. Some of the angles Hurst takes is phenomenal.
That's not his game at all, is it? He's probably too, that's the McKenna game. He's probably too entrenched of how he was at Rotherham to change, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a two.
Yeah, in a two. We've got Craig on Twitter who said, easy. Was it very easy, Mr. Frank?
Well, it was actually. I didn't have to, Martin, revert to too many beers yesterday. I could watch in the comfort of my living room, seeing, as I said, Cruncher could have been in goal. You could have been in goal. I could have been in goal. It was just...
Where's my keeper shout, Frank?
You're definitely too small. I'm not putting you in goal. It's like having Clive Baker in goal.
Smaller than that.
But it was a man of the match for me. Sorry about that, Matt. I should have included you in the goal.
No. Sorry.
Please don't.
Man of the match for me was Cameron Burgess. I mean, he was outstanding throughout. I think getting capped for Australia probably boosted his belief, self-confidence. Although they conceded 2 goals and he gave away a penalty. But if you see that, actually, in truth, I don't think that was a penalty. But the other centre half, Harry Suter, he gave away a penalty, but he was lucky because the penalty taker hit the post, whereas when Burgess gave his penalty away, it led to a goal. So that was a bit disappointing. I also agree with something you'd mentioned earlier on in this debate about referees. I mean, I don't understand these referees. Have they ever played the game? Do they have any knowledge of it? Even at amateur level, you can see the difference. You know, you can see an ex-footballer who would referee a game much better. So I don't know. I had a brother-in-law who refereed, Dave Wright, and he was a terrible footballer. He was also a terrible referee because he booked me, he gave me a yellow card for persistent offside. I mean, is that in the rules? I don't know. I think he just wanted to get.
You know, he's not refereeing Macaulay Bond.
Sounds like a cruncher move that before losing mass control.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, I just speak on the stats and the facts, mate. I don't care for your feelings.
Yeah. And also, just on before I forget, I was playing for Pontin's football team in East Anglia once, and they had who was the guy? He was understudy to Tony Adams. Walford, was it? Tony Walford, something like that. Anyway, Steve Walford, and he was playing for the guests. And I found it. And the referee gave me a yellow card. I said, "What's that for?" He said, "You've got a very expensive pair of legs." So, which is fair enough, I suppose, because in those days everyone used to sort of play. You wouldn't do it now. I mean, when I was a kid, in Liverpool, we had Mick Lyons, we had Andy King, we had Terry Darricott and Neville Southall all turning up on a park. We only had Coates as goals, and they'd just turn up because that was a different era. You know, when players just wanted to play football. They see a big game going on with Coates as goals, and they get out their car every week and play. And they did it quite often. It wasn't a one-off, you know. It's just strange.
The thing is, referees do understand the game of football. They are football fans themselves. The problem becomes when the law is the law, and they always have, and they must have these meetings regularly, referees, upon how the season's going, any adjustments. And I just wonder if it's one of those things, as the season progresses, you'll see adjustments made with more leniency given, Frank, to goalkeepers who take that extra second or two, regardless of the result.
Yeah, I think probably that they adapt, don't they, referees, to the guidelines as the season goes on. So you're probably right. That is probably what's going to happen. I'm interested on Tuesday, not just because I was trepidatious when I looked at the fixture list and thought the Saints away, bloody hell. But then they've leaked 9 goals in 2 games. And they're 5 points adrift of Ipswich now in the table. They're on 10 points. So in that regard, we've probably got less to be fearful of. Although I will have a few beers on the side, just to be on the safe side.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're doing a match preview with a Southampton podcaster. That'll be out tomorrow. Matt's kind of in charge next week. He's on the Tuesday match reaction show. And then both the lads are on the Wednesday show.
Yeah. Get yourself on, Frank. I've got the keys to the kingdom.
Where are you on Wednesday?
I'm on holiday, mate.
Where are you going?
I'm going down to Butlins for a kids' tots week. So it's going to be
We've got the keys now on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, kind of. I'll be producing it. But you two need a rein.
Working in the background.
Yeah, listening to you as try and have an enjoyable holiday. But Frank, before I let you go, anything else you want to mention about your football club?
Yeah. Because we've got injuries now to Donasian and Leif Davis, we don't know the extent of it. I'm just wondering whether it was such a wise move to get rid of Greg Lee, because a lot of people liked him, including me. And yeah, you can say he wasn't getting enough game time and he wanted to move on. But I really like the player, and I think he was good enough for the Championship, to be honest. So I don't know what you think about that, but that's my.
He wouldn't have made the 25 though, would he? We've got a squad of 25, and he wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
He was physical, wasn't he? He brought physicality, and he had, he looked like a centre back to me, Frank, but never seemed to get an option to play there.
And he was very athletic, his aerial ability was another thing that we tend to overlook. He was great in the air, and
I'd agree. I'd agree with that.
I didn't see much wrong with him, to be honest, and whether he got into the 25 or not. Well, now we've got Axel Twinzabi, that the mole told you about a long time ago.
Yeah, we remember.
The mole was bang on the money, wasn't he?
I don't know where he's going to... Whilst we've got this run of form going, Frank, I don't know who would you drop for Twinzabi to come in once he's fit? Be harsh on Burgess. No, he's playing for Australia. Wolfie ain't put a foot wrong. Don't know.
It's a conundrum. Right? It really is, and it's a nice conundrum to be in. It's the same with Ladke and Christian Walton's on the way back.
Yeah.
It's also a nice headache for Kieran McKenna to deal with, I think. So we should be grateful for these situations.
Indeed, yeah.
Absolutely.
Better than what we used to have under Evans.
Yeah, well, this is it. This is it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, Frank. Look after yourselves.
All the best, guys. All the best.
One of our YouTube members, Matt Stallard, did get YouTube Plus. They were always listening to Talking Town, and some random things start talking about gut bacteria. Make sure you have your what are these little pots called? That's it. Yakult. Yes, absolutely. Have your Yakult. Matt says low kick ball away, you get booked.
Law kick ball.
Oh, law. Good point. Cheers. I ain't got my glasses on. Hang on, wait.
Context.
Get the frame on. Law, kick the ball away while you get booked. Player kicks ball away, doesn't book them. So if you can't do that, the most basics, then it does shop more complex things. I've read that all wrong. I've butchered that.
I think I said this on the phone to you yesterday, Rich. That Hendrick tackle on Broadhead was disgusting. Completely missed the ball. Completely studied.
You probably had a better view than
in the midriff. I think in the Premier League, VAR, they'd have looked at that as being a potential red. Nowhere near the ball. Takes Broadhead out. I remember, do you remember the World Cup final, Spain, Netherlands, and De Jong took out one of the Spanish players, and everyone said he should have got a red and never did. It kind of reminded me of that, really. But yeah, again, more inconsistencies because that was punished just as much as the kicking the ball away or Haladki time wasting.
Yeah.
Much more of an impact injury and card for that.
Norman says, Matt, can you do a pre-assist show while
yes,
Gov is away?
We will.
No,
Talking pre-assists.
No, you bloody won't. No, you won't. Over my dead body. Not a chance has ever been on my platform ever. What a nonsense stat, Mr. Moss. Surely you don't believe in it.
I agree with you.
Good man.
I mean,
but as a player, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Oh, I passed through to give the assist.
Nonsense.
Where's it?
Part.
Did you see that XG? The XG for Sheffield Wednesday second half?
Don't fucking start me on that rubbish.
0.00 it was.
No, well, that's a good one. Suddenly, look.
I tell you, if you are a Sheffield Wednesday fan watching this, you probably aren't any, or maybe James. One thing I did think they did well yesterday, in amongst all the the terrible things they did. You know, when we play out from the back and Morsey or Luongo will come to the D and then look to. They actually covered that very well, I thought. When actually a better side, they pressed us quite well on that. I think a better side may have even punished us, but just something to watch against Southampton, I guess, on Tuesday. But I actually, a couple of times we found ourselves, by the hair.
Don't worry about our passing out from the back. Worry about Southampton's. That's what they want to be worrying about.
Exactly. They should be worried about us, I think.
A says, but that pass that releases Davis must be recognised. Absolutely. And we do recognise it, but it's recognised as great play.
Yeah, rather
than a
stat. Yeah, I get it.
It's not stat worthy. Yeah. It's not stat worthy. And
can you pronounce that word that Sharon's got there?
Do not waste your money on Yakult. Have it on good authority of consultant. Gastroenterologist.
That's a no.
That's a no. You knew that. You set me up to fail on that one. I didn't even read it before I started reading it.
I couldn't even pronounce Dazelle right, could he?
Andre Dazelle.
We were chatting to some geezer in a bar once and talking about what jobs we did and all that. And he goes, I work for this company. It's called Danone. And everyone went, Danone.
See? It's great marketing.
Great marketing. Really, great marketing. Yeah.
Really great. Because I thought it was called Danone. I was thinking, what was it called?
Should have been.
It should have been. Absolutely. Before we close, anything else do you want to mention after yesterday's dominant 1-0 win?
Don't know, really. I mean, it's there's too much positivity going on. We had a bit of a moan about things going on at Portman Road, didn't we, in the week?
I've got
a bit of
stat for you. I've got a stat.
Bit of feedback.
I've got a stat.
Good. Yep.
So yesterday, Town won their 5th game, Matt.
Yeah.
In the first 6. In the relegation season,
it
took us 46 games to win 5 games.
Yeah, but the team was very different.
Memories.
Well,
God,
true.
Season that was. Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I mean, it's exceeding expectation. And of course, a week's a long time in football because, or a couple of weeks is because we were looking at Southampton and thinking, I certainly had that down as being a defeat at St Mary's. And
still would.
They've got 9. They've conceded 9 in 2 games.
Yeah,
Russell Martin.
0-0 incoming, which I would probably take. Rob says, who's the first manager sacking? Xisco, Carrick, or Martin? I think he means Russell, Martin, not me.
Yeah, that Cisco's got to be close, I think. Probably get Mick McCarthy in. You need someone who, if you're going to be playing them tactics, you might as well just have someone who's a master of them.
Probably a great shout, to be fair.
Yeah,
probably
do you
a
know what I
great
mean?
shout.
A Yorkshireman.
I think Carrick. I think it's teetering at Borough, Rich. It's not gone well.
Yeah, but he's been a bit unfortunate. He's lost all them goals. See Matt Crook scored yesterday, linked with Town. Matt's man told us we were signing him in the window, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, it came true, did it?
Remember that?
Where's he gone? I completely forgot about that. Good point.
I heard it was on the table from a very reliable source.
Barbecue.
I see about Neil Warnock. They reckon he's leaving Huddersfield. Heard that last night.
Leaving Monday, allegedly.
Yeah, they've got someone lined up, apparently.
Not another retirement.
Wow.
Hold on a minute. He's only just done the year's deal.
Guy's retired more times than a
Get back on his tractor down in Cornwall.
He's going Chef Wed.
Who's retired more? Terry Funk or Neil Warnock? Like,
yeah.
You know,
Warnock,
Funk was always retiring, then coming out of retirement in the wrestling world.
Who's going to Huddersfield then? That's interesting.
No idea.
6 games in 2 years.
Cowleys are going back there. Your boys.
Legends.
I tell you who else. I say he wants a job. Saw this morning on Twitter. Billy Davis.
Whoa!
What? He hasn't made for about 20 years.
Ready
for a return.
Is he?
Did he take Derby to the Premier League? Is that when they got 11 points, or did he come in after?
That was Jewel, wasn't it?
Was he coming after Jewel?
After Jewel, maybe.
He didn't do. He didn't do well in the Premier League either. But apparently, he's ready for management.
He was like an angry Rottweiler, that guy.
Angry Scotsman.
Very angry man, yeah.
I mean, you've also got my mate, Adkins. He's still probably walking in the forest somewhere.
Walking's good. Great.
Absolutely great. I've not seen those tweets in a while. I think he stopped doing them. What a shame.
Every day when he was out.
Yeah.
He needs to put some good tweets out now. Dean Windass.
Hope you slept well. That's how he used to say him. Hope you slept well.
Make your bed, put your pillows on top. That's what he says.
Yeah.
I find that odd at Huddersfield. Certainly, Warnock started turning them around a little bit, and they won yesterday 2-0, didn't they, against Rotherham? And
I'm leaving
6 games into a 46-game contract.
Matt Stannard on Tuesday. He says, "What time am I leaving? 3:40. As soon as Archie's out of school, we're gone."
Do you know what? What's ironic is I'm just down the road, and I'm not going to be able to go. Like, it's well and truly annoying.
Where are you?
Bognor, Regis.
Oh, Bognor.
Yeah.
Shout out Kyle Edwards yesterday, Matt. Have you seen his goal?
No. He's doing all right there, isn't he, Oxford?
Absolute screamer.
Yeah,
good for him. That's probably his level, I think. It's probably
just a shame it's Oxford, isn't it? After the fog game. It's like, don't want to
like do you?
Well.
Nah, they're pushing Gillingham.
Fault, though, was it? They weren't their fault.
Pushing Gillingham on Wednesday for me. And they've got 3 stands. 2023.
Yeah, no one likes that. Yeah, no one
We've got a rover on Mars. We've got Oxford with 3 stands. Come on. We've progressed, surely. No, I've got nowhere we want to get to Oxford. I'm very joking for the sake of content. Norman says, can see Roy Hodgson retiring. He's quite poorly, apparently.
Yeah, he missed the game yesterday.
Did he? Did he really?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Ray Lewinson took charge, yeah. Poor old Roy. Get well soon.
Yeah, get well soon, Roy. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Magoo, what's his name reading? Don't understand what that means. Right, we're done. We're dusted.
Before we go, has anyone seen the Reading throwing the tennis balls on the pitch yesterday?
Well played.
Fantastic.
Protesting against what ownership?
The owners, yeah. I don't know what minute it was, and there's literally, it's like you're at Wimbledon. New balls, please.
I thought it was Ace where they did that.
Oh, I like it.
I know. I'm a dad of 3. What can I say?
True.
Once you become a dad, it's like something just clicks in your brain. All these bad jokes and bad dancing file out of you. You know, it's just
that'd be you at Bognor then next week, will it? On the Tots disco.
Get me on the dance floor. You think I'm good around Tesco's? Get me on the dance floor. Right, we're done with Dustin. Thank you for watching. I'm the Gov. That's the Media Mogul. That's Cruncher. Join us next week for the flagship. Join these boys Wednesday for the match preview, and join us tomorrow for Southampton. It's not going to be live, so check your video tab, not your live tab on YouTube. But thanks for watching. Hit the like button, and we'll see you down the road. Bye.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. went crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair and you